Well, hi everybody, and welcome back to Nasidyanka. This is the channel that I used to present all sorts of cool information about Bulgaria, traditions, customs, stories, anything related to my culture where I come from. But then I did not post anything new in almost a year, and some people started asking if I was coming back, if I was planning to continue. So after a lot of thought, I decided to make this video and give you a quick update, as quick as I could. We'll see how this goes because I'm just improvising here today. I'm not prepared to be presenting today. But just wanted to say thank you so much for your follow up and kindness and for the care and support. And to let you know that I plan to continue to maintain this channel. I wasn't planning on getting rid of it. I might actually expand it a little bit to include Bulgarians who don't understand English. So if at some point in the future you find some videos in Bulgarian language, just know that, that's part of it. I'll just do half English, half Bulgarian. Maybe like some videos in English, some videos in Bulgarian. But yeah, change has been the name of the entire 2024 for me. A lot of changes, unexpected changes, and making it through, which is resilience. It's good. But that was part of what, prevented me from making the videos as I was earlier expecting, like last year. So one of my loved ones ended up going to ER, and my loved ones are my family. My family is my loved ones, and when my loved ones are in pain, then I am in pain too, and I'm there with them. That's not a codependence. There is a difference. But honestly, I think in the West, or maybe in our modern culture, we have also lost connection with caring and being there for each other. Honestly, with carrying each other's burdens, and it's actually an act that can be very fulfilling and meaningful. So yeah, for a few months that's what we grappled with, and I was part of it there with my loved one. And then I changed my jobs. Some of you who have been following this channel might have heard me mention that I work in mental health, and so I switched and I left the system, so to speak. So I work more privately right now, and I'm so fulfilled. I'm so thankful, I should say. I really give glory to God for that. It's been a good choice. Thanks be to God. This is not to brag. This is not, nothing major, but it is big. For me, it was very meaningful and fulfilling, and to me, it was a blessing that I want to appreciate and count. But the transition required extra months of adjusting and figuring things out. So it's actually part of my plan going forward with YouTube videos. I've been considering including in this channel talking to the Bulgarian community in Bulgarian language about mental health and trauma healing, because I feel like this would be very helpful, at least from my research and hearing from people around me. I've noticed and observed that this is really necessary. And as far as in the English speaking Western world here in America, I think we are exposed to a lot of up-to-date, like modern day research. I can talk a lot about it, but I'm thinking like accelerated resolution therapy, EMDR, trauma healing, internal family systems. There is so much that can go into healing and meaning making and finding resilience and thriving, right? So and by the way, when I think about change, I think about how people say when life gives you lemons, you make a lemonade. But honestly, that's not how life works. Sometimes life gives you air, and it gives you empty, toxic air, and it takes time to filter through that, right? And it's not your fault, it's nobody's fault. It's just stuff that you have to set time aside and prioritize in order to deal with. It can make you stronger. But I don't think of being stronger as some kind of a hero with muscles and, bravado. I think in terms of vulnerability and compassion and building more depth, introspection, and understanding. I think that's the beauty of, encountering life's difficulties in a healthy way, or even in a responsible, mindful way. Okay, so in a brief, kind of like a nutshell, what happened next in my life in 2024 was after I switched the job, then my loved one and I moved into a new place. We used to live into a tiny little claustrophobic space, which was okay for time being, but now we're in a three times bigger living space, and I'm so thankful for this as well. So with the warming up of the season, I've been able to start planting plants and looking after a garden, and I'm so excited. I've never done it to this extent, and it's so fulfilling, to look at the suffering plant and learn methods to save it, to see it thrive, to start, and see a plant grow from a seed, to branch out and see how resilient plants are. They break, and then with proper conditions, they draw roots and they propagate. It's been really amazing and fascinating. So that's what I've been doing this season since we moved into a greater space. And one of my plants is my coffee plant. I've fallen in love with it right here. I talk to my plants, I sing to my plants, I play Orthodox Christian music to my plants, and they're so cute and so lovely. And this is God's creation, and I think of the wisdom that is imbued in this creation, how much life there is, how much meaning there is. So we'll see how this goes, but I'm doing my best to learn, and love on this plant. I also have a cherry tree that is right now a cuddling, I think you guys say in English. I have a few lilies. I have an aloe vera, which I'm saving money for pots because it needs repotting and propagating, and I'll be doing this come next week. I have planted carnation, flowers, lots of garlic. My sunroom is full of garlic. Coming from Bulgaria, garlic is one of our main, dish. We eat garlic left and right, not just the mature garlic, but the baby garlic, the green garlic. So my grandparents always used to collect the garlic in the shape and form of a bouquet. So at the table, they would have a vase full of this green, the green sprouts of the garlic. So as you eat, you just get it, dip it in salt, and you eat it, and you get a glass of wine, and everything's okay. It's a great antibiotic. There's a lot of research on garlic, but it's also good for preserving the soil, or at least like I read some places, and I'm trusting it and learning about that kind of stuff. But like a pest control for some situations. So yeah, and I'll start. Healing garden with herbs that I can turn into medicinal herbs, tinctures, teas. Oh yeah, I planted like two batches of nettles, like stinging nettles. That's another very traditional Bulgarian herb that we eat. So in my husband's area where he lives in West Bulgaria, he has shared stories that his grandmother would fry the nettles leaves. I've never eaten it that way. I'll be curious. Maybe he can teach me this year. But in my region from East Bulgaria, we would make soups from stinging nettles. And I remember as a kid, I would go with my cousin, collect the stinging nettles from the woods. It was just, like spread live and fresh everywhere. So you basically wash it, you cut it into little pieces, you add angel hair, a carrot, water, salt, spices to your preference. I love salt and pepper, and it makes one of the best soups. I miss it so much. And the thing is, it's really rich in iron amongst many other medicinal, like healing, healthy properties. So I'll be happy to share, when that happens. So going back to what happened after we moved to the bigger space that allows us to have this year is we switched churches. we actually lost a lot of friends, and I think it's good. I'm very thankful to the Lord for this. We used to attend a church that's part of World Orthodoxy, and we no longer attend that. We're part of the GOC, which is the Genuine Orthodox Christian Church. No offense, no judgment. There is no criticism to any of you guys. I work with people from all stratospheres, believers and non-believers, people who come from different religions, and people who are atheists or agnostics. It does not bother me. Everybody is a child of God. But the problem with the World Orthodoxy was that um, they were advertising to be following Orthodoxy when in reality they were not following the canons, the apostolic rules, which actually comprise the Orthodox Church, and they were introducing many foreign practices which change what Orthodoxy is. And I'm okay with whatever, everybody's choice is personal. I do not meddle in that. But if somebody says, hey, this is Orthodox, let's just not lie and deceive. Let's just really stick to the truth. And so yeah, so my husband and I are attending a GOC church. People are so welcoming and warm, and I can see that most people have gone through a lot of trial and tribulation and losses, but also for the greater good. There is a sense of a relief, and comfort when, like at least those people and I have had this conversation about how, fulfilling it feels to be in the truth, to be, in a place where you can be authentic, you can be yourself, So that happened, and that was a big thing that required a lot of energy and, months to, accommodate, I should say adjust. Well, then in our region, we suffered the effects from the flooding from Helen. Some people got it worse, at least in our area. Thanks be to God, we were way more spared. And I'm just, again, I can't put everybody under the same denominator, but my heart goes out to, so many people that lost their homes and had to make major lifestyle changes. As far as myself, honestly, I did not follow the news. I was, adjusting and going through, my life from one event to another. And the morning after the storm, I got in the car and I started driving, thinking that I was just going to go to a nearby tiny town and get some coffee. And then I saw that all the electrical posts were on the road and the trees were uprooted on the ground, and there was no electricity and no water, and it was just, I had to make a U-turn, come back home, and get updated. The quirks of not following the news have their pros and they have their, cons. It's a matter of choice. So that's something we went through. And then in the winter, we actually got hit by a pretty cold winter for our southern region. And, it happens very rarely in our region. I get excited, honestly, when we get colder winters because I want to see snow. I grew up in Bulgaria and I miss the glistening, crunchy snow or the tenderness of the snowflakes. I just want to see those. But then in our region, usually that means that you cannot commute, roads get closed, schools stop working, that kind of stuff. So I was really glad and thankful that I was able to work from home and adjust in that way. But then I'm mindful that so many people were not able to do that. So yeah, we had several snow days, and that was cute and very mystical, beautiful. I crocheted all along, so that was my, maintaining of my, self-care. And so I have these dolls, in addition to others, and I just make them clothes. It's my inner child. And so this is her name is Lavender Nettles. I made her this snowdrop dress. And I was just inspired because snowdrops actually are a symbolic, plant in Bulgaria. With first spring, like the end of winter and the first sun rays, we give each other snowdrop bouquets. You go to somebody's house, you bring snowdrops. And then this is my other doll. I had to get a second one. She is, her name is, let's see how I called her, Ruby Meadows. It's not like I call them by their names every day, right? But I decided her name is Ruby Meadows, because she has green eyes and she has red hair and she's so cute. But her dress is another flower. By the way, it glows in the dark. So I invented it. I don't follow patterns. I just start and I go wherever the muse takes me. But this is supposed to be the flower. What do you call it in English? Saffron flower. Yeah, these along with the snowdrops are the Bulgarian staple for the end of winter. So I was just inspired and expressing myself in a way to welcome spring. And then life continues. I mean, here we are into spring. I actually ventured into a new hobby. I've always kept journals. I love journaling my thoughts and my feelings and inventing stories and poetry. But I got so inspired about these journal prompts. I use, believe it or not, AI. And I say to it, hey, can you create a journal prompt with such and such theme? Make it include such and such, therapeutic intervention. Like I want a journal prompt that can extend up to 12 days to include art therapy prompts. And I give it the theme and it structures it for me and I love it. I'm not black and white opposed nor like steadily for, innovations, technology and stuff like that. I believe that, with good intention and a good heart, we as human beings can use things for good or for bad, and really in Orthodox Christianity is about this. It comes down to free will and free choice. It's been huge. I noticed how many people claim that they belong to the Christian faith, but they don't believe in free will, and it's very strange because that's the ultimate purpose of Christianity. God has given free will to the angels. That's why we have Lucifer, who has chosen to distance himself from God, and God does not abuse him by forcing him to stay with him. But also he sets proper boundaries, delineating the parameters of paradise, of health, so to speak. And so yeah, you can use an object, anything actually, to use it for health, for healing, to be a healing, healthy presence, or you can use it to abuse, and it really lies into the heart of the human nature. So one of those journal prompts recently, I asked the system to say, the computer, I was like, listen, like, I want you to create this journal prompt based on the hero's journey or based on like narrative therapy. And one of the prompts was, okay, what would your life's book cover be if you could, create one? What would it say? And I usually journal those things. I reflect, I think about those introspectively, going more in depth early in the mornings. I love waking up before the sunrise, getting my coffee, and in the dark, either lighting a candle or like having some soft light, and journaling there. The porch light is okay too, it doesn't have to be above and beyond, but it helps me kind of go in depth of that thought. And for me, my book cover popped up in my mind's eye, and I thought, yeah, my book cover would say "Bottomless Heart." And when I think about this running theme, of my life, with change after change and stress after stress and big things, like just every month, and I extended it to pretty much the years of my life, I was like, wow, that's the dominant story. Like, dominant story has been change, and this is part of human life, but I guess the older we get, the more change intensifies. And the thing is, during the years, I used to think with my younger brain, I used to think and assume that, okay, this time I'm hitting hard bottom and this is the end of it, like it's the worst, right? But then I would emerge stronger and with more insight, and I would, encounter a new difficulty, and I would say, okay, that's the worst, right? Life can't get any harder. But then life gives you more lemons and more oranges, and sometimes it gives you cactuses, cacti, whatever you say in English, it gives you all of these things, and you learn how to cook them. You learn how to use them. Sometimes it throws at you pythons and snakes and things, But that's where I was like, I have a choice. I can live life from a place of love or a place of regret, love, hate, acceptance, rejection. And I make the choice to love. And I love God. When my prayers, I always say, God, I love you. Christ, I love you. Like, show me, how can I serve you? What can I do? And, what's good for, for this, that, and the other, for this person, for that, in this situation. And it's not like God shows up to you and starts talking, right? You have to use intuition. You have to really dig deep, very deep inside of your intuitive heart, right? That spiritual heart. So that's how I was like, my life book cover title is Bottomless Heart, because every time I thought I reached the bottom, I realized that there was greater depth and more wisdom coming from it. And like in Christianity we say, it's based on a quote, that in our weakness God's power is manifested. I came to realize that this is exactly what they mean. It's not like we have to pretend that we're some kind of macho strong people. It's not like we have to pretend, half smile, which actually is a DBT skill, and I'm not very happy with it. I'm not ashamed to say it. As a mental health professional, I'm not accepting every single modality out there. You have to use, everything with a critical mind, and grain of salt. But, the reality of the matter is that when you come to, the factual reality, the facts of the matter, you have a choice to be fake or to be real, to maintain a lie, or to step in the depths of authenticity. And authenticity is scary. Reality, truth is actually very intimidating. Many people turn their backs on truth. Many people deny the truth. It's a human reaction. So this is not to blame people. This is, all of us are programmed that way. When we're faced with the truth, our initial knee-jerk reaction is to deny and say, oh no, oh no, right? But that's where I was like, yep, bottomless heart, because the more I have struggled in life, the more I've come to fall in love with it. And from a Christian perspective, Christ is life. Life is Christ. And I started feeling this amazing just awe, It's not like some kind of high feeling, and it's not despair, right? It's some kind of like, okay, I get it. Like peace, like, wow, oh, I can enjoy this and I can enjoy that. Like in the worst and hardest of hardships, I can see the blessings and the pearls, and I don't have to share every one of those pearls, by the way. Boundaries are very healthy, very, very necessary. But yeah, that's where I was in a nutshell in the last year. So, okay, going forward with this channel, I think that I want to maintain it. I still want to keep that channel. Nasedyanka is my kind of like staple, go-to for sharing Bulgarian wisdom, stories, customs, traditions. And as such, Bulgaria is an Orthodox Christian country. I am Orthodox Christian. So this is part of it. Like I said, I might translate in Bulgarian language to begin to also bridge my wisdom, the things that I've learned in the West with my loved ones in Bulgaria. That can help me grow. I'm not, like, YouTube is just a hobby. It's not something that I'm expecting to turn into a profession, because I love my profession. I love my job. Mental health is very fulfilling. Working with trauma is something that's, honestly, it's giving life. Like, to see being able to give inspiration, motivation, and hope to people and help them move from stuck on repeat to thriving, to living, bringing this vitality, getting them to find the lost parts of themselves, like soul retrieval, is so empowering. So I think I'm good. I feel good about this. So I will also have to take under consideration my resources. I've been struggling with resourcefulness for sure, with technology and finances during all these transitions and all these challenges. So sometimes those things prevent me from creating videos. It's just not that easy go to. I have to wait until I get another paycheck and I can invest in more free space, like the cards that I use for those videos. But I'll just continue to keep it simple, and I'll continue to include words of wisdom and stories of wisdom, sharing with you from where I come from. And the truth is, I am a bridge between two cultures. I am literally I've lived for half of my life in Bulgaria, and a little more than half, but that's the other part of me is in America. And this is my strength. The strength from this is being able to bring forth both sides of that of the world and share it with you guys. And I invest that in my gardening, and I invest it in my creativity with my dolls or painting. I also like to paint. I used to do that. Or my singing. I mean, I love to sing. I'm no professional, but hey, you don't have to be a professional to live and sing, to connect with all the lost parts, like I said earlier. So I think I'll be including a little more of the wisdom from mental health. Of course, this is just a hobby, so it's not going to be a channel for healing, but it's a channel for motivation and integrity and life. So I hope that this brings a sense of hope and motivation to you as well. Bottomless heart. You can also take that to yourself, hopefully, and see how bottomless your heart is. When I contemplate the human soul, I come to see how awe-inspiring it is that our Creator has, created this most beautiful part of creation, the human being, because the soul of a human is so deep. We're just scratching the surface. Introspection is a way to go a few steps inside, and the deeper we go, the more, I don't know, it's soulful food, nurturing it is. The more we grow and we find peace. It's not easy, right? But we find peace. So I hope that you find peace in the knowledge that it's okay for our hearts to be bottomless. As a matter of fact, it's normal. And I will keep you updated on how my little coffee plant is doing, and the other plants as well. And I will welcome your ideas or questions if you want to see some video content that maybe you have thought about. Otherwise, I'll just go through some Bulgarian stories and the themes of the week or the month. And oh yeah, that's one thing that I may most likely I'm not going to be posting videos like every week. Maybe just once a month for now. I'm really wanting to take it easy and relish in the silence. So can you, right? Because silence is rejuvenating and healing too. So I welcome you back. It's really nice to be reconnecting. I know it's via YouTube technology, but hey, that's okay. The world is small, and you carry a soul, and I carry a soul, and I appreciate you all. So welcome back. Thank you. Bye bye.